this renderer that I've made. I've been working a lot on it. It's a little too complex for the AI to keep track of, so it's taken me a really long time, but I finally have it. What you have here is an image, a 2D image. This is a 2D image of an asteroid. It is not 3D. And so the challenge that I set off to solve was, how do I get this 2D image to appear as if it's rotating in 3D space? What kinds of mathematics can I do to each pixel, and how can I track each pixel such that when it's spinning in 3D space it's convincing? And so this is what I have here. I will turn up the animation speed, and what you can see is that it's extremely convincing. It looks exactly like it's rotating in 3D space. There's no single pixel on this image that is out of tune. All of the pixels on this whole image are in tune. They are all moving and warping together. Again, this is a flat image you're looking at. It's 100% flat. In fact, I will upload another image. I can upload it. I'll upload this one here. That's all it is an image, and it makes the image rotate. Now you can see a seam line there, and that's because I mirrored the image back on itself, so that way I can get the full imagery, kind of. So any images that you're inputting into this system, you'll quickly realize that you don't want their edges to be like glowing, because if the edge of the image is glowing, then the seam, when it rotates, essentially will be glowing. So I got some more here, but this is my most high definition one right here. And we can zoom in on it, and you can see it looks really good. It really looks like it's rotating. It is not rotating. I'm going to let you know, it is not rotating. The image is being sliced into 4,000 or 5,000 little slits, a couple thousand little slits. Maybe I can zoom in here, and you can see some of the distortion of the slits. So if you look, there's these little lines that you can see. These little, you probably can't see them because it's so good, but here's one of the lines right here. It's getting stripped into those slits, and then what's happening is the pixel at the bottom of the strip is getting warped to the top of the strip, and the pixels in each strip are flowing downward like water. And then some fancy math is calculating the silhouette shape of this guy, and making it such that the pixel's velocity is not linear. It actually changes. So the pixels at the edge of the roll here, those are moving incredibly slowly. The ones coming up on my mouse right here, those are all moving much slower than any of the pixels down here in the center, where they're flowing a lot faster. And so what you get is this result here, a 3D rotating object. And what you also get is your system does not have to render a 3D mesh with 3D geometry, which is really CPU intensive if you wanted, let's say, a few thousand of these asteroids in your game scene. So all the thing has to render is just this flat 2D image, and then it kind of thinks that it's not even rendering it turning, but it is, because of the way that the illusion works. So yes, to be clear, this is not 3D geometry. It looks very convincing. Even over here, especially over here on the side, you can see how convincing it really looks. It looks like that's in the background. Looks like it comes up to the front, comes over, and there's a lot of mathematical tricks happening that I'm not talking about. like where the axis is at. Maybe I can draw the axis on here real quick. Show axis. No, I don't think I have it on here. But I can change the axis offset. So if I put it down here, now this thing, I've moved the axis, off the center of mass, and so now this thing is rotating around a whole different axial point. But it's not rotating. The strips are just moving up and down. The flat 2D strips are moving up the screen and down the screen, and the pixels on the strips are just lerping from top to bottom. That's all that's happening here. But because, here's the cool thing, because of the way I've done it, the system thinks that it's 3D. So when light hits this, light will hit it in a 3D fashion, which I'll show you right now. Let me turn my intensity up here. And you can see as the light rolls across this, it actually acts as if it's hitting a 3D object, when in fact it's just hitting a flat object. So I find that incredibly fascinating. We can zoom in here and we can literally see the shadows being created inside the crevices and stuff. So anyways, this is going inside of my new game. I just have to fix a little seam issue. That's even if I want to fix it, because in my game all these asteroids are about this big. Yeah, they're pretty small. So let's crank the intensity up here. Really get that light shining bright on there. Because out in space with a metallic asteroid, you have all of this reflections. See all the reflections? This is 100% a trick. I want to stress that. This is a trick. It is not a 3D object. It's super cool. You can see the shadows reacting. I just love this. But anyways, that's it. Peace out. I'm calling it Zillusion.